my understanding is with Grandpa Redle, that his name was really Francis Sales Gehr. And then his dad died when he was like 4 years old, and his mother married a William Redle.
William Redle.
And he was just never formally adopted, but he
That's
just
right.
became.
They thought, for a while, Mom and Dad, neither one of them were citizens. They thought they were.
Oh, jeez.
That's
We're
not-
illegals, they're gonna send us back!
Mom was born in Richmond, Quebec.
Right, Quebec.
And
Isn't that
she thought because she married
A
American
citizen.
citizen, she was an American citizen, and they hadn't gone along with on Dad's side. They didn't take out papers for him. They figured,
That it was good enough.
a citizen, so they've been voting for years.
Did they ever find out?
Voter fraud.
How did they find out? Did they ever find out?
Oh yeah, I
never
don't know how they
changed.
did.
Did they have to go through the legalization process?
They had become citizens, yeah.
Oh,
I didn't-
then there should be records of that somewhere
okay?
too.
So
Our oldest grandson was born in Ontario.
So he has
Our
dual-
son Mike was doing his orthodontic residency up there when he was born, so he has dual citizenship.
okay,
Oh.
Uncle Dave. So Grandpa's name. Okay, we'll just say Francis Sales Gehr Redle, whatever, and so William Redle became his step.
So you guys are
Father.
really Garys.
But what?
By blood, yeah.
What was great grandma Redle's first name? We were looking at pictures, and what was her name?
Rosalie or
Was it
Rose?
Rosa?
Rosa.
Was it Rosa?
Rose,
Rose
actually
Joanne.
Rose.
Rose Joanne. Here it is, right here.
The
Tirol.
Tyrolier, I think
You
is.
get
Tyrol.
mixed up with the thing.
So
Somebody
that's
said
how Rosal got
Tyrolier.
her name then.
Sure.
That's probably how Rosal
Yeah,
got.
of course.
Got
So
it.
her name
Yeah.
was great grandma's name was Rose Joanne, and it looks like here it's either Tirole. Tyrol.
Tyrolier?
Rolia or something like that.
EA maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's ER, I believe, if it's on the other sheet.
Okay, okay.
That's-
Oh, there it is.
that's-
Tiroler, right there.
Tyrolier. Tyrolier.
Okay.
Is that French or?
Mom
I
used to
have
always
those
tell
too.
me,
that if
So
you-
that was her, so
her-
Francis, so then Rose Joanne Tiroler or whatever is our great
yeah,
grandmother.
my grandmother.
Okay, so our great grandmother who was married to a Peter Gehr and then later William Redle.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. Isn't that interesting with my
Yeah.
dad's name, William Redle, and really it all should be Gehr?
That's
Isn't
true.
that interesting? And my
Wow.
mother's side of the family, her dad's name is Gilbert Gehr, Gehr.
Gear.
A-R Postaway. And look how close
Gehr
Gehr
and
and
Gehr.
Gehr. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah. Well.
Isn't
Wow.
that is...
And do you think that when it's Sales, that it was like St. Francis de Sales, that it was
It's
St.
Francis
de
de
Sales,
Sales.
and then
Yeah, St. Francis
during
de Sales.
during the
Probably.
they just
That's
dropped
solid.
some.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see that now, yeah.
and they dropped the D in this S-A-L-E-S.
Yeah, so that's where they came up with the
But
name
isn't
Francis
this
de
just
Sales.
interesting to
Yeah.
kind of piece this together a little bit? Now, on Pat's side of the family, this happened to us on our second trip to Ireland. He knew that his dad. You knew your dad was from a place down, or the family
Well,
was
the dad-
down by Water or.
Wexford or
not
Waterford? Wexford? Waterford?
Cork.
Cork, County Cork.
There's
Yeah,
that,
Sounds
that
like
little.
Wexford, doesn't it?
Well, I know.
But he.
But it's down in that area.
But
It's
he
south of there.
knew that the family, I mean his dad, but he knew that majority of the family was from an area near, it's called Rocinver, near Sligo.
Oh, that's
Sligo.
Sligo. Is
Sligo.
That's up.
It's County Leitrim.
Yeah, okay, County
okay.
Leitrim. So, but up in the Sligo area.
That's where the Meehans originated.
That was the, so he
That's
knew.
where some of our family's from too, on my mom's side, I think.
So our second time, we flew into Shannon, and we had never been up on that northern part. We went up through Galway and stuff, and then we went on over to that one county, anyway, and then into Sligo.
Okay.
And so
That's north of Galway.
I was reading this book, and it said that there was this famous tavern in Sligo that everybody had to go to. And so we would drive, and then around 4 o'clock each day we would stop wherever we were,
and have a Guinness.
and
Okay.
see, we were there in the off months. We were there one time in March, one time in April, one time in September.
Okay.
Now in September we made all our reservations prior because there was a group of us, but these
Okay.
other 2 times was
You
just the
just
2 of
kind
us.
of go as you
And
went.
so we would stop around 4 o'clock and say, this
B&Bs
is,
are B&Bs are great. over
and we
there.
just decide, okay, we're done for the day, and
Yeah.
then we would get a B&B, and then we'd go and have a Guinness and just kind of,
Yeah.
let that be our day. So we stopped in Sligo, and this was going to be the end of our day, and it was around 4 o'clock, and we went into this famous tavern. And in walks this very nicely dressed man, and a wife and 4 children, and Pat right
I
away.
guessed that he was the owner of the tavern, and he was.
And he was the owner, so he asked me if I'd take picture of all of them, so they all go outside and blah, blah, blah. And he said to us, well, here's a place to go, and for your B&B tonight, you should go to...
Out on this peninsula.
Yeah, it was a little...
There's a lot of peninsulas.
Yeah, I
Okay.
can't think of the name of it right now. It was just a little peninsula, but anyway. And so, so we went and got a B&B out on this little peninsula just off of Sligo. The woman that owned this bed and breakfast, her name was Kathleen, no, her mother's name was Kathleen Meehan. Our oldest daughter is Kathleen Meehan.
Oh, God.
Well, now we immediately have a connection
Yes,
with our new
family.
our new person. And, and her name was Mary. I have it all written down at home, but anyway, but her maiden name was Meehan. Well, anyway, so then she told us, well, you need to go to this place for dinner. It's on the waterfront. And she
It
told
was
us,
called the waterfront.
yeah, the waterfront. And so we go to this place for dinner, and we're just sitting there having dinner, and there was a couple sitting next to us having dinner, and I got up to go to the bathroom, and Pat struck up this conversation with the man sitting next to him. And Pat said, I'm kind of trying to see if I can't
Find some relatives.
my ancestors, and I'm looking for the Meehans. This guy said, the Meehans? He said, I worked with John Patrick Meehan. He and I were psychiatric nurses in Sligo. And he said, so he took a napkin, and
showed us how
drew
to-
us. This was how we got there. And then you turn and you go here, and then you go. This was my nap. The next day was a napkin.
So we go to Rossinver, which is one of the little towns in County Leitrim, and I go into the post office to try and find directions, because this John Patrick Meehan and his brother Joseph Francis Meehan lived in the house they were born in, and both of them were bachelors. They had never married, and they lived in the house they were born in. And we were trying to find where this was, so I'm in it's a small little room. The room was about as big as this, and it was the post office, and the postmistress was about this wide. Great big gal, And I'm explaining to her who I'm trying to find, and this gentleman walks in. He's fairly nicely dressed, and his name was Ferguson.
Tony Ferguson.
Tony Ferguson, and he was a local politician, and
That's what they call them.
he overheard my conversation with the postmistress, and he said, I know John Patrick Meehan, and he said, come on outside and I'll point the direction to go here, And we walk outside, and this old Toyota Land Cruiser's coming along, and he said, well, there's John Patrick.
There's John Patrick and James Franklin.
There
There they are, bouncing along in this car.
Yeah. So we stopped.
He stopped them.
And this Tony Ferguson introduced us, and John Patrick and his brother
It gives me chills.
They looked like two of my uncles.
They were identical. Identical. John Patrick looked exactly like your Uncle Jack, and James Francis looked exactly like his Uncle Louis. They walked the same, their mannerisms were the same, and they talked the same. It gave me a chill, actually, to see these people.
So we followed them a couple of miles to their farmhouse. And
It was noon, it's noon.
And they bring out a bottle of Jameson.
Absolutely.
Put it on the table, you know.
But we
And
didn't do
said
anything
no.
because we were going to be driving.
I said,
and,
we're
you know,
driving
but
quite a ways.
then they brought out some cookies.
They brought out some cookies.
So then John Francis says,
That's so funny.
he says, oh, it was so wonderful. And then they have a sister named Mary McMorrow that was in the hospital. We met her. We met her 6 years later, or 5 years later. We met Mary McMorrow when we went back.
But while we were talking to John Patrick and Joseph Francis, I said, I'd love to. I said, what do you have acreage here? And they said, oh, about 150 acres. I said, could I buy an acre of land from you? I'd love to have an acre. I said, how much would it be? Oh, he
About
said,
$2,000.
I'd sell it to you for about $2,000. So, but he said, you'll have to talk to my sister. That's Mary McMorrow. And we talked to her later. What'd she want, 50 or
About
60?
60.
60,000.
Hey, Al. Price change significantly.
And it didn't take long. It wasn't like, 5
Tell them the story about O'Mara at Creighton.
No, I'm going to tell them that story, but I wanted just to tell you, after we were with, I have wrote that, I have to tell you the story, but anyway, we go to their house, their little farmhouse and stuff, and then John Patrick said, oh, you gotta, and there was a church there's a church there that is Meehan's, and it was Father Melosh, his name was Father Melosh Meehan, and he had been recently canonized as a saint. And he's Father Melosh Meehan, and they had a church there that is, there we were, so there's the church.
So only Meehan ever canonized.
And
Well, there's always hope.
and so then he said, well, you gotta go to the Holy Well, and our Holy Well. So we walk a little bit and you get to this
What an
place and there was
experience.
this little, kind of a little,
little stone building.
like this, and water trickling down, and they called it the Holy Well, and they had one cup. And he said, you have to drink from the water of the Holy Well. It will cure anything. I turned to Pat and I said, I doubt it. Everybody's drinking from the...
That's like that Blarney Stone
But-
here to get something from
But
that.
we both drank from the Holy Well,
Wow.
because you know what? It would have been so insulting
Salty,
to him.
yeah.
So
So we had
just
some
did.
gin and tonic with us, so we emptied the tonic bottle completely and filled it with this holy water.
Oh, well that.
Where'd you empty the tonic water?
So
Oh, I mean the
then,
gin.
I knew we could get more of that.
and so my mother had an ulcer on her foot for years, just a real open sore on her right foot. She had tried everything, with physical therapy, ointments, every kind of thing in the world. She had bandage care she had to wear, and it was just this ulcerated area right on top
That you couldn't get to
never
heal.
would heal. And we got home from this time we were in Ireland, it was in April, and I said to her, and I know there was, that water wasn't pure.
It was
Right.
2001. wasn't
Yeah,
it?
but I said to her, I said, nothing else is working. Let me just dab a little of this holy water from the Holy Well. I'll be darned, in 2 months her foot was
Wow.
100.
There's your first miracle. One more to go.
But then she died, in September of that year. So,
Uh-oh, you lost the miracle.
But anyway, it was really fun to see. And then we saw them again. The next time we went over, John Francis had passed away, but we
I'm
did
looking
see
forward.
James.
I am really looking
And we
forward
saw-
to just.
But I have to tell you this story about the O'Maras.
My battery's almost done, so I'm
Yeah.
gonna just turn down.